Could you just? Yeah. Thank you so much. Very, very good evening to my colleagues on the board, the directors, the government nominee director, our independent directors, senior officers of REC, and distinguished representatives of the press media. It is with immense pride and with a sense of privilege that I stand before you to present the status of the REC Limited and to present the final statement of accounts for the financial year 24-25. As we all know, REC is a Maharatna Government of India enterprise, and we fundamentally operate. We have three charters from the RBI. One is that of a public financial institution, one is that of an infrastructure finance company, and one is that of a non-banking finance company. So with these three mandates, we conduct our operations across the country with an emphasis on the power sector. The last year has been a very good year for the company, for the power sector. And I would just like to mention a few highlights here. We had a huge number of sanctions. We sanctioned projects with over 3.37 lakh crores. We disbursed, out of these funds, we disbursed in excess of 2.07 crores. Our disbursements, which is the actual financial performance of the company, has shown an increase of over 18% on an year-on-year basis. Our focus on the RE sector continues. We had a very high disbursement in the RE sector. We went up to almost 27,000 crores, which is an increase of over 63% on a year-on-year basis. So our performance in the RE sector has been fairly encouraging. Our loan book, which is the true test or which is a very good indication of the strength of our company, has shown an increase from over 5 lakh crores to 5.66 lakh crores, which is again a huge improvement, considering the fact that in the last 3 years REC has been moving from strength to strength to strength. To build up on a higher capital base is always a challenge, but in spite of that, it gives me great pleasure to announce that REC has recorded its highest ever annual profit of 15,713 crores, which is an increase of 12% on a year-on-year basis. The net worth of the company has gone up to 77,000 crores, 77,638 crores, which is an improvement over this, which is a growth of over 13% from last year. Our total income has grown up by over close to 20% to almost 56,000 crores. The net interest income has gone up to around 20,000 crores, which is a growth of over 27% compared to last year. Our NPAs have come down substantially. We are now at 0.38% as on 31st March 2025, and we hope to be a zero NPA company this year. Our yield on assets has also improved. It is now at around 10.05%. Our cost of funds is declining year on year. This year we have a cost of funds of almost 7.11%. Consequently, our spread is at around 2.94%, and our NIM, our net interest margin, stands at roughly 3.63%, which is again an improvement over last year. Our capital adequacy ratio, which is a very strong financial indicator of the strength of the company, is at 25.99%, almost 26%, as compared to the mandatory norm of just 15%. So as against 15%, our CARR is at almost 26%. The mandate in the tier 1 capital is at 10%, and here our tier 1 capital stands at 23.76%. So these are just a few indicators to show that the financial strength of the company is very, very sound, and we hope to build upon this extremely strong foundation and move on to greater strengths. Every year we give a good dividend to our stakeholders, and it gives me tremendous pleasure to announce that this year the final dividend that we are giving is at 18 rupees per share. So this year overall we will give around 4,713 crores as dividend to our stakeholders. In addition, we pay income tax to the government, and our income tax is also at around close to 3,800 crores, 3,791 crores. These indicators are in the overall perspective of the huge impetus that Government of India and specifically the Ministry of Power is giving in pushing the power sector across the country. A few indicators that show that how the power sector is evolving and evolving for the better. The legacy dues of generation and transmission companies, which stood at 1.34 lakh crores, have now come down to 25,000 crores in a short span of 3 years. The ACS ARR gap has now reduced to 39 paise per kilowatt hour. Tariff orders of almost all DISCOMs are in place, barring 1 or 2 states. The Government of India, the Ministry of Power, has launched a very ambitious revamped distribution scheme, the RDSS, which seeks to strategically and in a huge manner increase the financial strength of our DISCOMs. In this, REC plays a very the role of a nodal agency. 19 states have been allocated to us, and it is our endeavor to ensure that the RDSS scheme is rolled out with full vigor and with full concentration in these 19 states. We are also the National Program Implementation Agency of the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, which was launched in February 2014 for installation of the rooftop solar system. Again, here a lot of encouraging steps have happened, and there is a lot of movement on the ground, and we hope to see in the years to come both RDSS and the rooftop solar scheme push forward. Almost 51 lakh consumers have applied under the rooftop solar scheme against a target of 1 crore households, and we are hopeful that in the next 2 to 3 years, we will push this scheme to ensure that the objectives of Government of India and specifically the Ministry of Power are met. Just for your information, all of you are already aware, but at the cost of repetition, I will say that REC continues to hold the highest domestic rating of AAA.
Or what is the progression? Because last time I think it was 21 lakhs.
So this scheme actually will go, as mentioned, roughly 51 lakh applications have been received. Registration is close to 1 crore 50 lakh. So that number is very, very high. That is expression of interest. And out of which 51 lakh is application. Majority of this is tied up with the vendor who will install the rooftop solar. Roughly 12.5 lakh approximately solar installation is also completed. So the sunset is going to be in 26-27, and by this time, in the current year, we are targeting close to 55 lakhs, and remaining numbers will be completed with the next year. That is our expectation. That is how we are working on this scheme.
And that is the saturation when you reach 26-27. That is the saturation that you will reach.
So that is not.
Or
saturation.
Is there any increment thereafter as well?
So total of 26 crore household connections, 25-26 crore household connections are there in the country, roughly around that number if I am correct, sir. So we are giving, under this scheme only 1 crore household will be covered. Maybe government may announce the extension of this, or maybe we come up with a new scheme. But under this scheme only 1 crore households are being targeted for providing the rooftop solar facility. Because of the challenges that we have in Northeast region, there is good traction in terms of PM Suryaghar Yojana in the state of Assam. And we have heard that there is good traction now in Meghalaya also. उनको रिक्वेस्ट किया है कि वो अपने आप को उस रीजन में जाके एस्टेब्लिश करें, जिससे कि कॉस्ट वगैरह के फैक्टर्स कर लें. आसाम में तो ये स्कीम अच्छी चल रही है, काफ़ी वहाँ पे एप्लीकेशंस हैं, काफ़ी इंस्टॉलेशंस हैं. और बाकी स्टेट वाइज मैं नंबर अभी आपको नहीं दे पाऊँगा. वी विल ट्राई कि हम आपको ऑफलाइन नंबर्स प्रोवाइड करें नॉर्थ ईस्ट में.
Hi, sir, that presentation from ETNF on RBI draft project financing norms. You have already submitted your comments to the RBI. Has there been any progress on that?
Actually, as far as the RBI guidelines are concerned, those were very strict guidelines over there. So, am I audible? Yeah. As far as the RBI guidelines are concerned, those were very strict guidelines were there that requires us to make higher provision for the under construction assets, and some of other conditionalities were also there. REC along with other our allies whosoever are in the infrastructure business have represented RBI on all the issues point by point, and RBI has taken into consideration and accordingly have deferred the proposal by 1 year, and thereafter it will come in the new shape and the style. So it will be much more meltdown position as the what we have seen as of now.
Good afternoon. This
In
is
the
Sanjay.
interest of time, we will take 2 more questions, please.
Good afternoon. This is Sanjay. I wanted to ask you, since you declared a very nice dividend, State Bank is also giving a same dividend, and so you people are more investor friendly. What is the status of your tax bonds? Which were earlier tax free and they are not no more tax free.
Sir, you also request Government of India from your side also, so that they should issue the tax-free bonds. That helps us in raising the cheaper funds from the market, and thereby we can lend the cheaper rate to the developers, particularly for the Government of India priority sectors. We have been requesting Government of India many a times, but our request has not been accepted. That was done way back in 2011 and 12.